Hi, everybody. Welcome to the fourth episode of Unmuted. I'm your host, Brittany Williams Mays, and we're talking with Danielle Taylor Wilson a little bit about life, raising children, and career happiness. Thanks for joining. Okay, well, I guess I'm ready to get started. Thank you again for being here.
You're welcome. I'm excited.
Yay, I am too. I'm always a little bit nervous whenever I have to interview anyone about anything, but excited to talk to you, that's for sure. All right, so my first question, I want to know, what do you do for work?
I am an environmental specialist, which is a fancy way of saying an environmental scientist. But in practice, I actually do more outreach and policy planning.
Mm-hmm.
So I do a lot of projects which involve me kind of being a project manager or assistant project manager with scientific goals. So it may be like a project that is surrounding some sort of science-based agenda. And a lot of times, in order to inform the community or to get the community's consent, we need to have meetings or facilitate uh, conversations with the community or just inform them of what's going on. So I do a lot of work with that kind of component, as well as regulations and permit compliance. So it's kind of like a mixed bag of science and community outreach.
Okay, all right. And I didn't ask you, where do you work?
The company I work for is a not-for-profit state-affiliated agency. It's really interesting, like the juxtaposition that it's in. And it's called Maryland Environmental Service.
Okay, yeah, all right, excellent. How did you get into your specific field? Like, what did you have to do for that?
So, went to college, and I am the type of person where I'm very headstrong. So, as I grew up, I knew that I wanted to do something revolving around science, and I landed upon the idea of marine biology. And then I would tell people, like, I'm going to be a marine biologist. And they said, no, you're not. Black people aren't marine biologists. And
Mm.
I said, what? Well, I'm going to do it. I'm gonna do that. That's what I'm gonna do. And they were just like, no, it's not what black people do. You're not gonna do it. You're gonna do something else. And I said, no, no, no. I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna do it. So then, going to UMEI, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in environmental science with a concentration in marine science. So same kind of concept, but I realized in what I was doing in undergrad and I liked it a lot. I liked the concept. I liked the science behind it, but I didn't want to particularly work in the field,
Mm.
and I did not want to work in a lab. So those two things are not for me. I would love to use those components intermittently, but not full time every day sitting down in the lab or full time every day exposed to any element.
Yeah.
So where I work now, I have the ability to go outside sometimes, but also do a lot of policy and planning, which I feel has more of an impact on people as well as being able to do a lot of the sampling and monitoring, which is the base of my degree.
Okay. So you kind of found the best of both worlds?
I won't say the best, but it's been very enlightening. It's been very helpful. I've learned so much with regard to policy. Policy has always been a really big interest to me,
Okay.
and I feel that one of the biggest things that in any community, especially underrepresented communities, that people just don't understand the nuances that go into creating the policies or the regulations that allow certain things to happen, and or they're not informed on who they should be contacting and communicating.
Mm.
So being in this element, granted, it does not impact me directly a lot of times, but it has given me so much insight into how to maneuver and navigate those arenas if ever I needed to.
Okay. All right. Did you have any other jobs prior to getting this position?
I did not. I was very blessed.
Yeah.
I did a lot of work in undergrad, so I feel like I did put in a lot of work. I'm not going to say it was like heaven sake. I
Right.
put in a lot of work in undergrad. I had a lot of internships, and I worked in the lab while I was in undergrad, so I had a lot of experience under my belt with regard to that. So when I went and applied, I graduated in December of 2007 and found a job March of 2008.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I was very blessed considering a lot of my friends and colleagues, they were definitely not as blessed in that regard. It took them about 6 months, 7 months, even a year to find jobs that were of work or within their field or that actually had something of interest
Yeah.
and paid well.
Yeah, and the timing too, because it was right around the financial collapse.
Yes,
So yeah, definitely. Um,
yes.
where do you think you'll be maybe in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you think you'll still be at the same agency, or do you have other plans?
I don't want to. I honestly, and I've been kicking myself in the butt lately, like saying, you need to do more. I want to be a consultant, working here and just having life experiences. I've learned a lot about uh, the want to have my own business and to guide my own path and to kind of create my own little niche out there in the world with the experiences and the knowledge that I have. So it is my goal to start and run an environmental consulting firm and hopefully bring some component that has to do with environmental outreach that will, impact the community or have a component where I can be involved in the community that are underrepresented, especially Black communities, when it comes to environmental outreach and things like that. So that's my ultimate goal.
Okay.
I need to be more to focus on getting to that point.
Yeah. All right. What do you think your industry is going to look like in the next maybe 15 to 20 years or so?
I think that the industry that I am in will be so multifaceted. I think that it will take a person that is not only uh, business savvy, but they will also have to leverage their degree in science with their ability to uh, like I said, business savvy, but multimedia. They have to understand how to engage, reach the public, and be able to stay on par with what their clients may want, but also understand how to keep their own morals and ethics.
Mm.
It's a very fine line when it comes to environmental science,
Yeah.
especially depending on what side you're on. I know it may sound weird, but I do feel like there are sides there. There's a side where people just believe that there is science, but the world is evolving, and so
Right.
technicality, the world is going to crumble anyway. And then there's the side of, well, yes, the world is evolving, but we're making it happen faster and at a rate that shouldn't be the actual rate, and we're compounding this issue, so we should do more to save it.
Yeah.
So if you're leveraging those two things, you have to be able to be armed appropriately to, I don't want to say fight, but to get your own personal message out. So in everything that I do at work, I try to make sure that I'm putting a piece of me into it.
Mm.
And I feel like that is like a representation of my goal and what I want the world to be like. So I do stuff with a purpose. I try not to be aimless.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like there's a fair amount of maybe advocacy and like maybe some education in terms of uh, trying to teach people about how things need to be in the world or what they I guess, our role in it. How
Yeah,
would,
I try.
yeah.
And even outside of the environmental aspect, because I am a supervisor, so I kind of do a matrix type of supervision where I have to supervise several different people at times.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to influence them with the idea that you have an impact. We do a lot of writing, so you have an impact on your audience, and the way that you write, the tone, the detail is going to resonate with someone. So what are you trying to put across?
Yeah.
Obviously, our agency has a goal, and there's a purpose for which we write certain things, whether it be a summary or a report. But the story you're telling, even though it may not be like light and airy and colorful, lots of words and details, it can either be straight to the point, here are the facts, or it can also describe where the facts are missing some of the components that may need to be there. So it's making sure that people are doing their due diligence, everything they're doing, not so much to the side of science or be on the right side or something like that. It's more like be purposeful.
Yeah. Okay. Who helped you, if anyone helped you, but who helped you make maybe career decisions when you were maybe in high school or even maybe younger than that in terms of choosing what you want to do for a career?
I thought about this really hard. So I wanted to be a singer.
Ooh.
I decided when I was in middle school that I was going to be a singer, and science had not even crossed my mind. And in Maryland, what we have a lot of magnet middle and high schools, and even now they're going down to magnet elementary schools. And what magnet means is there's like a specialization within the school, so they'll have like specialized classes that you'll have a focus, so whether it be science, math, visual art, vocal, So in middle school, I had the option to choose what my magnet was going to be. And I could care less about science at the time. I signed the papers and filled them out so that I could be in the vocal arts. And my mother said, "No, ma'am, you will not be." She said, "That's nice, you understand. I'm not going to stop you from singing. You can join the choir, but that will not be your focus. Your focus will be science because that is what is going to pay your bills." And I cried. And I said, "This is so mean. Why would you not let me live my dream?" She came back to me and said, "It's not going to what you live your dream. I just want you to be able to understand that your dream is fine, but this may be your temporary dream. Have you really thought about this? Is this really something you want to do? And are you really willing to put in the type of work and time to do that?" And I wasn't. I didn't really I just wanted to do it because I liked it.
Right.
She said, "Okay, it doesn't seem like you really thought this through. So if that's not what you're going to do, then let's start looking to the sciences. Let's at least see. Let's try it out and see how you like it." And I loved it. Okay. Everything that had something to do with water, I said, "Oh, I love it. It's so amazing." But outside of that, I think that people telling me that I wouldn't be a scientist kind of pushed me, because I did, my aunt is a scientist, she's a biologist. And so for me, having a scientist in my family,
Yeah.
oh, that's the thing. People can be scientists. I'm going to be a scientist.
Yeah.
And then to look outside of myself and only be able to see teachers who were scientists, I didn't really think much of it. But at the time, there were so many people around me who never saw other scientists, so
Right.
they were feeding into my perception. So, like I said, I'm very stubborn and headstrong. So I said, "No, you're not going to tell me what I am and aren't going to do." It was very difficult at first because I just wanted to just do it for that purpose, because people said I couldn't, as opposed to for myself. And eventually I changed. But I definitely feel like there were a lot of key people who came around and gave me a lot of encouragement and put me in the right places and positions and told me a lot of great things to help me to get to where I am. So I wouldn't say they were pivotal enough for me to say like, "Oh, this person in this class." But they were definitely people who saw my path and my vision, and they encouraged me or said, "Hey, you should think about this, or you should go in this direction." That was very helpful.
Okay, excellent. All right, so I want to switch gears a little bit and ask you, what is your home life like?
So it is crazy. It is the most amazing and challenging thing I've ever done in life. My home life has changed in the last 2 years, and it's something that when I first signed up to you, I said, "Oh, I'm sure it's going to come up, but I don't know like what the questions would be."
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, like, am I really going to share, or am I just going to be very like tempted and just give a little bit of pieces? But I decided that I should. So I recently I'm going through a separation,
Hmm.
and with that, it definitely changed my outlook on what family is and how family dynamics work. So it's definitely changed my home life.
Yeah.
But it's definitely been like a interesting mix of like highs and lows and craziness.
Yeah.
But it's definitely been a challenge, but very interesting nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. So with that being said, now you said you have a 3 and a 6-year old, correct?
I do, I do. My
So,
daughter is 6,
mm-hmm.
and my son is 3.
All right. So then I want to ask you what you do on weekends, but I'm pretty sure it involves what it involves is probably kid craziness. So what's that look like for you guys on the weekends?
On the weekends, it actually just kind of started. If you had asked me this way, I would have said nothing.
Yeah.
Go visit family.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm very close to like my family. But getting my daughter involved in different activities because she is a ball of energy.
Mm.
So getting her into dance, and we've been in cheer. So to kind of get her involved. And my son, he's 3, he's not really ready for any organized participation.
Right.
You know, not going to really follow any directions, and I'm not willing to waste any of my money just yet.
Right.
So
all right.
At this point, it's kind of just shuffling her around for some of her events.
All right.
So I've been trying to make more time to be a person. It's the one thing like a lot of mothers and parents do. They kind of forget who they are and lose themselves in parenthood.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how to be a person.
Yeah. So what about you on your weekend? Do you have any time for like fun things in your life, like things that you enjoy, like adult play or anything like that?
I have been trying to cultivate that for myself and trying to, I guess, rediscover how to make time for that
Mm-hmm.
and to determine what I want to do.
Mm.
As you grow up and you're doing all the things in college or at whatever point you're in your 20s, and you're like, oh, this is great, this is fun. And then when you have more of this dynamic where you're in a routine every day, because kids normally you have a routine.
Yeah.
So I'm in this routine every day, I do this thing every day. So to say, oh, I like this thing, I'm like, I do like that, I did like that. How can I really incorporate that? So I'm really into poetry. I'm still into music a lot. So I try to go to concerts and festivals.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the winter doesn't lend itself to that.
Yeah.
I'm so ready for spring and summer.
Are we all?
I am looking at all the festivals.
Yes. That's exciting. Do you have any plan that you have any that you plan to go to or that you might want to go to?
I'm trying to go to Black City Fest, which is in DC. I'm going to try to go to that. I have been trying for the last few years to make it to Afropunk in New York.
Oh.
I would love to go to that. And myself and one of my best friends, we've been talking about it, like really planning a trip and really doing it. So I'm trying again this year.
That's awesome. Okay.
We can make it happen.
All right. So you're
I
trying.
think it'll be a really
Oh, go ahead.
I think it'll be a really amazing cultural experience for me.
Yeah, it looks like an exciting event. It definitely does look like a good time. All right. So I do want to switch to with that being said, I guess about, the home and the career stuff, how do you find time, or how do you balance, the personal and then the career
One
aspects?
second for me.
Oh, okay.
Hello, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. Yeah. So I guess what I was gonna ask, how do you balance your personal life and your career?
Um, hmm, I have not been. I would say in the last 6 to 7 months, I've been trying to do that more. Um, and being with the company that I've been with I've literally been there for almost 10 years now, since
Mm,
2008, obviously.
yeah.
Um, in staying there, it was a choice because I wanted to cultivate my family.
Yeah.
And because I know I wanted to be a certain type of parent, I work with a lot of female scientists and a lot of engineers, and the division and group that I work in is primarily women.
Mm,
So it's been a very interesting experience to see that dynamic because they work so hard and they push themselves, not catty. I'm very happy that it's not catty,
yeah.
but they push themselves, but they also, most of them, I would say about 75% of them have families.
Mm,
So their mothers and their wives, so they're working hard hours and going to get their kid because their kid is sick. And I said, this is where I need to be because
mm,
I want to be able to leave and go get my kids if they're sick, if they're having a function at their school. I want to be able to run up there and go and be a part of it. I want
yeah.
to take the snacks and be, the PTA parent and all that stuff. So being here has allowed me to do that to some degree because it's women and women understand each other with regards to the situation. And we have this dynamic where, okay, fine, you got to leave at 1 in the afternoon, but you do have this project you need to get done. And so you're going to work from home tonight? Okay, cool, great, you'll get it done. And it's not that pressure of,
Yeah.
okay, well, you got to be here from 9 to 5, period.
Right.
And you have to make it happen. So with that, I've been there for so long that I haven't pushed myself because I was very comfortable. So now I'm taking some opportunities that have been in, at this position to try to push myself and try to leverage my tenure there with the ability to do more rigorous work, which has been very interesting considering my new home life
Yeah.
and trying to cultivate a different situation. So it's been very interesting, challenging, but it's like one of those challenges where you're like, oh, I like this. I like the energy. I like being able to do something new and different. So I just try to take it one day at a time. I'm a big planner. I live by my calendar. If it's not in my calendar, it doesn't exist,
Yeah.
which is
I
the
hear you.
catch-22. Because sometimes I forget to put things in, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh.
I hear you.
You asked me to do that? You asked me? Did I pull out my phone when you asked me? I didn't pull out my phone and put it in my calendar. I don't think you really had that comfort.
Yeah.
So I live by my calendar, and it literally is my lifesaver. So I mean, small details to large details is all in there.
Yeah.
I'll probably die without my phone.
I think you're not alone in that one. I think there are many people who would be lost without their phones. Um, So it sounds like you have a good mix of having a supportive work environment and consciously choosing, to be in that environment as a part of what helps you to balance having, that career and having your family, taking care of the kids, in addition to being, like you said, a planner and making sure that you're writing things down, getting things to where you can go back and refer to them and keep on task. So,
Yes,
yeah.
it is definitely, that's definitely been the purpose that I've been trying to accomplish
Yeah.
thus far.
All right. So now, did you think that, or maybe I guess I'll ask you back when you were 15. What did you think life after and at 30 would be like when you were a teenager, we'll just say?
I thought I was going to be rich.
Don't
I
we
thought
all?
I was going to be living the life. I was one of those kids, and I still am one of those people. I don't like look back at childhood and say, "Oh my gosh, I wish I was a kid again."
Mm-hmm.
I don't say I hated being a kid, but when I became 18, I was so excited. Feeling like, yes, I can control my life, I can control my money, I can control everything about my situation.
Yeah.
So, in my mind, when I was 15, I said, I cannot wait to be grown. I cannot wait to have my own money and my own place and all the things that I want because no one else is stopping me.
Right.
So, I think I thought I was going to be rich. I thought my closet was going to be full of shoes and clothes, and I was going to drive fancy cars and live in some sort of fancy house with a porch. I think that's all that I thought. I didn't really think past that.
Yeah. Did you what did you think that you would have family by now, have your own kids of your own or and things like that?
No,
No?
no.
Okay.
In my mind, I said to myself, oh, I'm not going to get married until I'm like 30.
Mhm.
I mean, I value family and it's very important to me. But for that exact reason, because I wanted to kind of live more and do more. I said, oh, I'm not pressed about marriage. I'm not pressed about being in a relationship
Mhm.
that is leading towards that. I just want to live. So when I did get into a relationship and, marriage was the next step, I said, oh, is this me? I am, I'm getting, I'm in a relationship. I'm like 25.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's not the plan. Then I got pregnant and I said, and we're pregnant, and I'm married and I'm pregnant and I'm having a baby and I'm like 25. This is not part of the plan. Then we're not supposed to be babies until I was 31.
Yeah.
At 15, I already had it planned out. No
Yeah.
babies until I'm 31.
So it's a little bit different than what maybe you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, definitely.
I hear you. If you could maybe tell your 22-year-old self something, like maybe give them some advice or maybe give them a hint, what would it be?
And this is another catch 22 for me because I feel like I don't know if I said something to my 22-year-old self, I may change what really would happen and who
Mm,
I would be. But if there was no real impact to the type of person I would become, then I would say to my 22-year-old self, live more.
live more.
I live more because I am a very pragmatic person, and because of that, I grew up in this like very narrow-minded idea. You do right, you do the stuff you're supposed to do all these things, and great things will happen. And to some degree, that is the key. But if you're not living, like physically living, you're doing all that stuff just because somebody told you it's what you should do.
Mm,
So not taking chances or making some decisions and choices that kind of go against the grain. Like those are things that are just different.
yeah. What?
1 second for me, please.
Okay.
I'm sorry, they see me on the phone, and so now they want to go to the bathroom. I'll be 5 seconds.
It's okay. That's the mommy life. What does live more mean to you? What would you be doing if you were living more?
I don't know. I guess it would be more of in the moment situations, but living more means to me just doing things that maybe resonate with my heart. Things that I guess I'm living more now. So in retrospect, I'm like, oh, if I would probably have taken more chances, made more mistakes, sort of thing. Obviously, you don't want to make too many mistakes, but
Yeah.
just taking some risks. I would have probably taken more risks at 22. I could go back and tell myself, no, it's okay. Take some risks.
Yeah. All right. So what goals are you working on? I know you mentioned the consulting as being something that you're interested in doing. But what goals might you be working on in your career or personal life right now?
I think it's kind of coming up of just trying to live more.
Mm-hmm.
Happiness is a really big thing for me right now. With going through a separation and changing my family dynamic, it's definitely been something that I'm reassessing who I am as a person and what I value and what I want to do and who I want to be. So it's a lot of that reassessment to determine happiness. And if I'm really happy in the moment, what makes me happy, and how I define that. So that's actually my goal. Outside of like, oh, I want to run a business and I want to be a great mom and all that stuff. My key point right now in life is like happiness.
Okay. All right. So what makes you get up every day?
I thought about this and I couldn't come up with a lot of different things. And this may sound morbid because I don't want to die. I mean, it's not like a thing. But in my mind, I feel like getting up every day is a gift. I feel very privileged to wake up and be able to see my family and be able to, do things and have things. It's not something that everybody has. But I don't know. I don't know what makes me get up every day. I've been trying to figure that out. And I know it may sound silly because people say like, oh, my kids, or I want to live life, but it's not those things for me. I think it's just like I am here, and maybe because I don't feel like I've served my purpose. I feel like everybody has a purpose in life, and I don't feel like I'm walking in that purpose. So maybe that would be what makes me up every day, or what drives me.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like there's any like entity or one thing that I can pinpoint that's really making me want to get up. And like I said, I know it sounds a little morbid because I'm not saying I want to die. I don't want to. I would hate for my babies to die, or parent. I would hate, for those to be the things. But like, I think a lot of people are scared of death, so it's an awkward conversation to have with people. But obviously, death is a part of life. It's a cycle. It happens. And it's a passing on of people, whether you believe that you're going to heaven or hell, or whether you're going to some sort of holding place. It's still you are moving forward. You're going to another place. So I don't look at it as a negative thing, especially when it comes to like people who are sick and ill. Like it's a positive celebration. So in my mind, I try to speak about it in a more positive light, in a more good light, but it still scares people. I know that kind of went off topic, but
no, that's fine. No, it's a very honest answer, and I think many people might just say the thing that comes natural to say, anything that comes naturally to you, which, a lot of times it is your kids or, your spouse or your job maybe, but it's very honest of you to, be able to say, it really isn't specifically any of those things, and I'm not sure. So I appreciate that. And it's also very scientific of you to say everybody's gonna die. so it's great. It's a great answer, I think. So with that being said, I didn't put this on here, but I do know it has been asked in other interviews. How do you fit maybe time for spirituality into your life? or religion?
So, I am very spiritual. I am. I think this is so funny. I was talking to my dad about this last night because I feel myself moving away from religion and more to spirituality, which is a definite difference for what my family has, what we've cultivated and what has been the norm. And I feel like the internet is such a powerful thing. You can find a lot of good things to start your journey to be able to read more and understand more about life. So having the internet as a resource, I definitely do a lot of fact hunting to see whether what I'm seeing is real or whether what I believe is real, and to better understand what I want to believe. And it's hard because when you have children, the standard thing is, oh, you teach your children, you will rear them the way you were reared.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit different for me because when you start to have a different knowledge base and you start to, gain more ability to open your eyes to certain things and at least research it. You may not believe everything. You may not grasp the concept, but to begin to read and open up to the idea that there's a difference and that there's more to be said about life definitely changes your perception. So for me, that perception has led to me being more spiritual. So I try to do yoga more. I do my prayers a little different, so it's not the prayer of like I am praying to Jesus or something like that. It's more of an open-ended daily conversation sort of situation. And just reading. So a lot of my spirituality comes from reading and constantly edifying and constantly trying to make sure that I am finding out who I want to be spiritually and how I want to believe in the higher power.
Okay, all right. Are you reading any good or bad books? What are you reading lately?
I actually have stopped reading for the last 2 months because I needed to focus on trying to figure out business stuff. So I said, okay, I need to just focus on that. And that's the other problem. For me, I get like so involved with so many things, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I sit down, and I'm like, which part am I at? Which stage?
Yeah.
I should probably map this out better. So I told myself, no, you're going to stop. You're going to map out what you're doing as far as a business plan, or what your model is going to be, or how you're going to move forward in that. And it's hard because I feel like I've been drawn in 2 different places. Part of what I do for work, like I said, is outreach and planning. So in life, I found myself doing a lot of planning. So I'm always drawn to these people who may need some type of assistance or help. And it's not like the type of assistance or help, like, come give me money or something like that. It's like they literally are missing a component with being able to analyze or address issues that they're trying to succeed in. So I've had a couple friends where they have businesses or they're trying to start a venture, and they just cannot figure out how to go about mapping it out. And I said, oh, it's pretty easy. Let's start with X, Y, and Z. Let's start with this, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. How did you know all of this? And I said, well, I don't know, just life. This is what I do. I'm very good at analyzing and planning. But when you feel yourself drawn to doing something like that, but you have an idea on something else you want to do, it's hard to nail down where your starting point is.
Yeah.
So I've been really struggling and doing a lot of soul searching to figure out how I want to approach my business. Because at this point, I've always had in my mind, oh, I'm going to do environmental consulting.
Right.
I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. But is that really my purpose? Is that really what I should be doing? Is that really what I'm called to do? Yeah. I'm not called to help people develop their businesses or develop their ideas because I'm good at analyzing and helping people to really figure out what they want to do.
Yeah. Okay. So you
Uh,
kind of doing your own soul searching and, figuring
yeah.
out, higher than just what you're able to do, what you might be called to do, what you
Right.
really have a great skill for and what people really need. All right. So those are some big questions to be grappling with in life as usual, right?
So yeah, so I'm trying to find books that kind of lead me in the direction of answering my questions
Yeah.
for myself.
There's a
So I
book
haven't been reading anything lately, but
there's a book called What Color I think it's called What Color is My Parachute. I don't know if you've heard of that
oh,
one.
okay.
It's a
I have not.
okay, that's a career planning book. That's a pretty good one.
I'm writing it down.
Okay. I'm trying to think if there are any other good ones I know. I did have like a career because I am a therapist by trade. I did have a career counseling component at some point. So, but I think that one is a pretty universal one that seems to be well liked. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
check that out.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, what inspires you? Like, what kind of things inspire you? People might say, art, or maybe they, specific spiritual leaders. What kind of things inspire you?
Energy.
Mm.
Beautiful energy, positive energy, whether it be whether it's people or things. Like energy is so amazing. When you look at people or you can kind of read something and you're just like, I can see someone poured their all into this. I can see someone really put effort into it. I can see someone is really trying to be impactful and
Yeah.
purposeful.
Yeah.
Whether it be an act of kindness or a casual conversation, like energy is very inspiring to me. It can change a whole tone depending on how someone comes into a room or into a conversation. So I love seeing people and people. I'm a people watcher, but being able to even just art, you can look at art and you're reading the energy of the art and you're just like, I can see the brushstrokes were very intense or they're very hard, or the picture, the angle is very direct, or it's very abstract where the person is kind of coming from afar and not trying to take the picture up front.
Mm-hmm.
And those are being able to read into that sort of stuff is inspiring to me because it makes me think more, and by default, then I'm becoming more creative, or my mind is toying with different ideas or trying to figure out how I can look at something, how I can take what I've just seen and apply it to my
Mm.
life.
Okay. All right. So you kind of like learn by the things that people leave behind, whatever those things are.
Yeah.
Cool. So this one wasn't on here, but I kind of want to ask this question. It came to me. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Like maybe in a sentence, like maybe kind of like what goes on your gravestone, not to go back to being morbid again, but like what would you what would you want to have left behind when you're gone?
I just want to make a change, positive one.
Mm.
I just want to make a change. I want my life to have meaning, to have had an impact, to make someone else's life greater. I am a server by default. I always find myself in a servitude sort of arena.
Yeah.
And whether I'm like at somebody's house and they're having a cookout and I see somebody struggling with the grill, I'm like, oh hey, let me help you. Oh okay, let me help with that. I'm always helping. So I want that component of me to manifest itself in a way where it has an impact that's positive overall.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. So, all right. Well, well, thank you for doing this and being here. And it was
Thank you for having me.
wonderful chatting about this stuff. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I think it's so interesting. I think this is amazing. Like I said, like energy, like people like telling you stories about their lives that you never know, but little tidbits of information is going to be, useful to you or it's going to resonate with you. I thought it was just so amazing to see that you guys were doing this. And I said, oh, this would be so great.
Yes, well, definitely. We appreciate everybody who's willing to volunteer to do this because we wanted to hear from people and find people's stories. So we definitely all send you our great thanks for being a part of this project.